Zeng are here to provide you with career insight and to answer your questions. Before we start, just a few housekeeping items. You can use the Q&A tab throughout the talk and ask questions, which will get you at the end of the session. We will cover as many questions as we can during our allocated time. But if we run out of time, which is highly likely, please do email us at alumni events at bristol.ac.uk, and we'll endeavor to answer any remaining questions via email. Please only use the Q&A tab to ask questions. Any comments or technical issues should be emailed to us. The chat function is disabled on this particular event. We are all volunteers, and the view and opinions we're sharing today are our own personal opinions, do not reflect the views and or opinions of any associated organizations or the university. The session is being recorded, and you will receive an email link to the recordings in the coming days. And if you have any technical issues during the event, try exiting the Zoom session and just re-entering. That usually solve everything. If you continue to experience problems, then just email us at alumni-events at bristol.ac.uk, and a member of the team will do their best to assist you. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our speakers for today's event. And I'll begin with an introduction of myself, and then I'll introduce the next speaker. So myself, I'm a graduate of computer science degree. And after I left university, I had about 8 years of IT consulting experience. And in terms of entrepreneurship, I actually started my first company back in 2008. And the company was in telecom value-adding service area. And I remembered the days that I wrote 50 different versions of the business plan and obtained the string of small angel investment to coordinate technologies. And we provided essentially the billing service for Wi-Fi users for different networks. And our main asset was the fact that we were able to get exclusive deal with China Mobile and China Unicom. So it's quite a good starting point, coming through a unique set of experience. Coordinated run for about 3 years. And unfortunately, the Chinese operator was never able to put enough investment into the Wi-Fi network to actually make the business viable. So we eventually sold the company to a different player in the market. And I then came to the industry of glasses-free 3D technology. And I led a couple of companies in terms of business before opened my own glasses-free 3D company. And that come from a commercial deal I got. I was going to give the deal to a partner, but unfortunately the partner's team actually disintegrated. And so the leader of the partner company persuaded me to actually, he asked me, can we do this ourselves? And so I said, okay. So it was very circumstantial. And I started my second company. And 3D without glasses, unfortunately, didn't take off in the market. So eventually, I have to leave that field and entered the exciting area of virtual reality. And so I was leading VR education for a while before starting my own VR education company, this time, interestingly, in Sydney. The company is called Smartstone Technologies, and the company still runs today. And at the moment, I'm also invited to be the business development director of a UK VR education startup or science education startup. It's called Mile Science. A good news for Mile Science is that recently I helped Mile Science to complete the round B investment. It's quite a reasonable sum of money, but I cannot disclose the exact amount because in a few days I will put out the official press release, so you'll all read about it. And About entrepreneurship, I think I just want to mention 5 quick points. Number 1 is it's a thrilling experience. Enjoy it. Number 2, make sure that you work with the right people for your entrepreneur endeavor, and finding the right people, working with right people, it's a people's game. Number 3 is to make sure that your idea and product is properly and fully market tested by everyone. Number 4 is to make sure that you kind of train yourself, and you look after and you understand a particular type of people that is called investor. And the success of your entrepreneur companies is very dependent on how you communicate and handle investor relationship. Number 5 is after your company reach a certain size, rather than enjoy yourself as a leader, you actually almost as a servant, you need to look after everyone. And that is art itself. So really, that is my opening introduction for myself and my experience. And I'd like to move on to introduce our first speaker today, Laura Shang. Laura is the founder and managing director, managing partner of Shanghai Know-How Law Firm and the member of the Shanghai Bar Association International Investment Law Committee. Laura Shang is a qualified PRC lawyer with around 20 years experiences in the legal field. She has served many multinational companies, large-scale state-owned companies, and private companies in connection with their cross-border investment, merger and acquisition, BOO project, commercial negotiations, and their business management and operations. So, Laura, over to you.
Thank you, Liang, and thanks for your introduction. My name is Laura, and good afternoon, everyone. As introduced by Liang, I'm currently the managing partner of Shanghai Know-How Law Firm. And I studied law at University of Bristol from 2010 to 2011, and I had a great time there. And I could, the firm, of Shanghai Know-How Law Firm was started at 2018, and before that, I have over 10 years of working experience in the legal field. And I still could remember that after the final examinations at the University of Bristol, I had a short working experience at the law firm called Clark Wilmot. And one day, I had a talk with a senior partner, Mr. Robert Murphy, and he asked me, "What's your plans when you are back to China?" Actually, I have to say I was not prepared for that question back then, and what I was thinking was quite simple: looking for a decent job and performing well in that position, and looking forward to the promotion to the higher position. But interestingly, what I replied him was, "I'm going to have a law firm of my own," which actually surprised myself at that time because I had no preparation for it. It's not a plan, it's a dream, I have to say. However, the fact is, after graduation from the Bristol, I was back to Shanghai to work, and a couple of years later, I went to BPP University at London for GDL, and was back to Shanghai to work again. I just felt I was not ready for starting a firm of my own. However, I guess the law of attraction works. Even I didn't start the firm immediately after I said it. I guess the idea rooting in my mind will grow out eventually. The time when I decided to take the first step is 3 years ago. 3 years ago, one of my good friends who was working for a big multinational company was awarded a medal for her long and loyal service at her 10th anniversary. And she began to plan the life of being retired. Actually, I suddenly realized that that was not the life I wanted. And it seems that I was wasting my time to wait for the perfect moment to start the business. And then I think it was the time to start. So luckily, several months later, I got everything settled and the firm started. I was quite excited and more anxious, to be honest. Finally, I have to say that I have the freedom to decide my days, and sometimes in the morning I wake up with a big smile on my face. And the most important thing, I never feel exhausted, no matter how late I work. So I don't know why. So I guess that's the reason of having the passion. But I guess you might want to ask, is the entrepreneurial life really that amazing? The answer is yes and no. Well, in fact, I need to start by doing deceptively small things, and I'm actually ready to work on 24/7 basis. And I also worry about the capital of the firm, the team management, and the marketing strategy. In addition to that, I have to deal with the fields which I'm not comfortable with, taking the networking, for example. I do think that I'm a people person, but I'm still embarrassed to take a conversation to a new person at the event. So I set a task for myself, which is to meet at least 3 people at the event and to impress them in a few minutes. And then I could be totally released, and that method works. And now I do enjoy meeting new people and getting new information and new opportunities as well. Well, I have to say, without this startup, I wouldn't have the opportunities being invited by Tongji University and East China University of Political Science and Law to teach their postgraduates legal negotiation. So overall, I have to say that it's a wonderful experience doing a startup. I would say it would be good if I could start early and not wasting that much time to wait for the perfect moment. So some advices for you. The first is, if you are currently working at a company right now, do take that opportunity to learn as much as possible to understand the responsibilities of each department and how the departments are divided and how they coordinate each other. And the second is, I think it's quite important as well it is to have your own marketing positioning plan, which could distinguish your business with your competitors. And the last one is being optimistic. Well, studies shows that 1/3 entrepreneur experience depression. So you are not the only one if you have that experience. I would say it's a difficult journey, but it's a wonderful journey as well. So this is pretty much of my story. And thank you. I think it's time over to Liang. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Professor Shang, for the excellent introduction. I will say that more than 1/3 of entrepreneurs experience depression of some sort or the other. But if you feel somewhat under pressure, if you're in Shanghai, talk to Laura. I think she has a lot of she can offer you a lot of support and help. I think I did say that when you do entrepreneurship, investor is very important, but I think Laura just reminded me that lawyers are also very important. Everything you do, you need to talk to a lawyer. So find yourself a good lawyer if you want to start your own company at all stages. It's very important. Now let me introduce our second speaker today. That is Mingke Luo. Mingke is the co-founder and CEO of MRS.ai, which is a conversational artificial intelligence startup based in Beijing and Shanghai, providing intelligence service solutions to multinational corporations like BMW, Intel, and Visa. Mingke has 10 years experience in leveraging new technology to create product and service for both consumer and businesses. He has rich understanding in technology startup, early stage investment, and open innovation. Mingke is the regular guest speaker in CEIBS, I think I should say the Chinese name, 中欧商学院, class on corporate innovations and international entrepreneurship. Mingke, over to you.
Hi. Thank you, Kai. This is Mingke from Shenzhen. Right now I'm on business trip, but the company is actually based in Shanghai and in Beijing. I think I share a lot of similarities to Kai. You just mentioned about your experience in terms of the serial entrepreneurship in tech field. I think we share a lot of similarities in that part. I myself is a serial entrepreneur. That's a fancy word. If we translate it into another way, you can consider there's a lot of failure behind that. Still ongoing, still a lot of things we're trying to achieve. Wasting a lot of money. I'm not saying wasting, but spending, let's say, a lot of money from VCs. It's good to have somebody back you up, particularly financially. So this entire journey for me is more like I usually say when I hire people, are you prepared to be a pirate instead of joining the Navy? If you know the saying that like, why join the Navy if you can be a pirate? So more or less, I think being an entrepreneur is more like to joining a pirate ship, so that you need to find your proper captain or be the captain yourself and to find this treasure land and recruit people, figure out the direction and conquer all those challenges throughout the entire journey. You don't know how many journey. I don't want to share the details of all the challenges we have faced. Otherwise you will be scared. If I know all those journeys myself, I probably won't start the ship as a captain. Probably I will join the Navy. This is also very important to understand, particularly if you have no experience in different kind of organization as for work experience. So the things that I'm not very similar to Kai is that I don't have a computer science degree. Rather, I have I graduated with a social science, international relations majors. So a lot of people won't actually understand how can someone with no computer science degree can actually to do a startup in artificial intelligence. This is very interesting. My first degree back in China was about linguistics, which is quite interesting. My degree in Bristol is international relations, doing a lot of social science study and researchers. And later on, what I'm trying to do right now with my current startup is trying to build AI agent for different multinational corporations and to find a way to do the governance among those AI agents in one organization or across different entities, which is, you can consider that as a Facebook for AI agents for different organizations. This is really interesting and challenging, particularly at the current moment. We don't have a lot of good examples. So some of you might heard about Siri and other digital assistant, which are to some extent not so intelligent for end users. But what we are trying to do to work with those larger corporations is to create professional domain-based AI agents so that as an end user, you can actually get things done. So we do that for BMW. We are currently the only startup vendor in conversational AI domain in BMW Group. And we work with Intel. We help them to, Intel build lots of physical robots, big giant robots. And the sad part for those robots is they don't have a lot of professional use cases. You can't really talk to it and get a lot of things done. You might see some of them in the like hotel or hospital, but the problem is the human-machine interface is rather not so satisfying. So this requires one thing, what we call to do the service design, and this is where I can help. Yeah, leveraging all the new techs, including deep learning, machine learning, and neural networks so far to achieve what we call the artificial intelligence as a result. So there's not actually one technology called AI, but a result you can be perceived as AI. So this is how we do our business and my role at the company. We help to find those professional use cases in different multinational corporations. And I design the professional service for them and leveraging whatever technology we have at hand. And if we don't have current technology, just to fill the boundary of those technology and create the service, the professional service for them. So this is currently my role. And we actually hire lots of people. we would like to get the warm support from Bristol University as well. So if you're a computer science major, if you're interested in working in this domain, come to me, come to Shenzhen or Beijing. Right, I think that's the basic background about me. I will be probably sharing some of my experience in terms of how to start your tech company and how to do the scalability, how to write BP, how to approach VCs, how to waste their money, how to be a pirate in general. So back to you, Kai.
That's amazing introduction as well, Mingke, and I absolutely agree with you on the pirate analogy, and that's fantastic, and very well done to actually finding the niche to actually serve these multinational corporations in a very busy kind of like a linguistic AI area. Especially you have lots of super heavyweight in China, like Baidu and iFi Tech in this area. But you're able to get yourself there, and good on you, fantastic. A big score for the pirate from Bristol. That's fantastic. Right, another pirate from Bristol is Yi Zeng, and she is the founder of Yi Cha, which is a Chinese tea company. Yi runs Chinese tea ceremony workshops for various events and clients, and sells Chinese tea and other tea-related products, which I love, by the way. Yi graduated in 2016 and started her own food business company, which was endorsed by the University of Bristol. She then joined Entrepreneurial Spark, the world's largest free business accelerator, offering business support to startup companies. In 2018, Yi changed the food business to an educational and culture business, running online and offline workshops. Alongside running her own business, Yi Zeng now works at the University College of Birmingham. Yi, please share your story to us.
Okay, thank you, Kai. And actually, Mingke, we're really close when we in Bristol. We are on the same road. So I studied Master of Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Public Health in 2014 in Bristol. And during that 1 year in the university, I was nominated as course representative. And I did a lot of volunteer work, in total around 300 hours with 13 different organizations, and I achieved the Bristol Plus Award. And also I did apply and got a marketing internship during university. After I graduated, actually, I started work at NHS for a while, but I found I didn't really enjoy it. At that time, Bristol started to endorse the Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur visa. So I think that is a good time maybe to start my own business. Then I submit my business plan and did 2 round pitching at university and finally got the endorsement.
I did run my food business start with for 1.5 years. And then I moved to Birmingham and joined another incubator in Birmingham to start my second business. It's about horse riding. Then I start to get a full-time job at Coventry University doing marketing and the digital campaigns. And this year, now I work at University College Birmingham as international admissions and student support officer. Although I work full-time now, but I still keep my business running. Like Kai said, I still run the tea ceremony workshop online, and I had my e-commerce shop to sell Chinese teas and other products. And so I think if you want to know anything about startup business in the UK or even find a job in the UK, I'm really happy to help. From my startup experience, I mainly want to share with you 3 suggestions. First is it's really important to know like what you want. You can start to explore this in really early stage. Like when I joined the University of Bristol, I sign up for Bristol Plus Award on the first day, and I start to do a lot of volunteer work and I get a job and try everything from the really early stage. So after I graduate, I already have a lot of experience in different sectors. So after you know what you want to do, you can find many supports around you. Actually, there are many wonderful support service for startup in the UK. Like in University of Bristol, we have Basecamp enterprise team, and they organize startup drinks really frequently. You can networking with other university and startup companies, and they run startup competitions. And we have Set Squares, which is world #1 university-based incubator in the university and based in the engine shed at the train station. And outside university, there have Entrepreneur Spark, which is the world's largest free business accelerator. I did join that in Bristol, and also Get Set Girls, Business West, and Enterprise Nations, lots of support things. And second, I think it's good to know that your ability to take the risk, like how much risk you want to take and how much you can take. Are you really ready to start a business? And it's good to start with a minimum variable products like MVP to test the water. And the third thing is networking. You can not do everything yourself. When you're networking, you will meet lots of like-minded people, and you will find someone maybe help your business and partner with and help you to grow business really quick. Like when I run my food business, I went to lots of networking events in Bristol and around the UK. Like their Bristol Green Capital Partnership, Startup Grant, Entrepreneur Spark, and Yana. And also I trained my public speaking in skills. So I started a Toastmaster club in Bristol. I was the once president for public relationship. So that is my 3 suggestions and some of my experience. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It's really wonderful having you here. I think you've been actually quite modest in your quick introduction. And fortunately, I had a chance to talk to you before this event. So I just want to mention several keywords to summarize E. First is risk-taking, as you can hear. And, and maybe you kind of ignore that. There was a horse riding in there. And E is also a dancer. And she plays really good Chinese traditional harp or guqin. So there you go. And besides this, there was all this courageous ability to find the opportunity and grab them, public speaking and networking and finding and going to new areas. So there you go. So as you can see that our alumni office in Bristol, led by Joanna and Claire and the team, has put together a really good panelists and speakers with a really wide range of experience and in different areas. So we're here to help you if you have any questions about entrepreneurship. And in fact, before this event, a lot of people has already registered online and sent some starting questions, and there are a lot. This is just some of them. So I know that some questions are already appearing in the Q&A tab, but I think I should do justice for all these people who has registered question before. Let's start with a couple questions so that we can begin the discussion. The first question from audience: how do you feel COVID-19 would affect innovation? So this question to the speakers. Who would like to go first, please?
Yeah, I can go.
I was looking at you.
Right. I think this is something that that can actually stimulate the business opportunities, particularly if you are in tech field. In our industry, what we do is it's not to, because we do artificial intelligence. The purpose is not, with current technology, is not to replace human operations in the business, because we can't really do that. We call it in Chinese 人工智障, which literally means artificial intelligently challenged somehow. That's a proof that current AI with the current framework cannot really replace human operation. Rather, it could be an assistant to the human operation that could shorten the distance. You don't need to be face-to-face in order to complete tasks or to provide service to your clients somehow. So I think this entire COVID situation globally can somehow make business easier with proper tech tools like Zoom. If you guys know what we are doing right now, we don't probably use this before this entire COVID situation, but now everybody's using it. So this is a very good sign of how tool can actually connect people to help to get the business done. And if you are the founders or the team behind those tools, you'll be rich. So I think this could be something as a opportunity for you guys if you work in tech field, and that's just one piece of my advice.
Totally agree with Mingke. Everything happened on a bigger social economical environment actually is an opportunity for the right entrepreneur. And anything to add on that from Laura and Yi, please? The question was, how do you feel COVID-19 would affect innovation?
Sure, I could share some experiences during the COVID-19 on the legal services industry. First, I guess the influence on the legal service industry is a court hearings during the COVID-19 and had to be changed. For lawyers, we cannot attend the court hearings in the court physically. And all the court hearings, if possible, were changed to the online style. So I do think that this is the opportunity for the startups, I guess like you or Mingke, to develop a mature system to help the court hearings going smoothly. Because according to my experience, the court hearings I had during the COVID period, the quality is not that well enough, and it's not quite convenient for we lawyers to show the original evidences. So I guess this a legal problem as well as a technical problem to us as well. So that pretty much all my sharing. So over to you.
Thank you, Professor Shang. And Yi, anything to add for that first question, please? We're just warming up.
I think it depends on how you think about COVID-19. It seems like we are disconnected to the neighborhood and to the city, but in another way, we are still connected worldwidely. Because COVID-19, we got more opportunity to connect with the world. Like the event we can run today, we want to do more online events and connect people around different areas in the world. Like for my business, I got opportunity to run more online class, so I can deliver a session for students in China, in Japan, and in the UK at the same time. And also for like our Guqing, we had a Yaji before, like every month. Now we can have worldwide Yaji. We can invite musicians in the Europe and in China, in other countries to get together and do the performance. So actually it can benefit for some. Depends on how you think about it.
No, I think I definitely agree. And in fact, I also was able to do a lot more speeches, keynote speeches in various events across different countries in this COVID-19 years. Funny, my Euro lifestyle was basically between different airports and between different countries. As you can imagine, I have company in China, I have a company in Sydney, and I also have company in UK. And before, it was very difficult to actually communicate with everybody. But interestingly, COVID-19, when everybody is working online, in a way that it's kind of like it's enable you to process more. And another interesting I like to share with everybody that Mingke mentioned Zoom, and my team in Sydney, we actually started a virtual reality version of Zoom. We call it X Spaces, and recently we actually launched a art exhibition on X Spaces. And in the future, we're hoping to make it personalized and also enable art colleges to have lectures within the kind of virtual reality art spaces. You can see the kind of artwork around it. So that's a good example of the kind of like yes, unfortunately, the event changed the way we live and changed the way we communicate. And you if you're active, your innovation would go with it, would adapt to it. And things will never be the same after COVID-19. We would definitely work more remotely. So there's a sort for everybody. If you run coffee shop, for example, the high street coffee shop are disappearing. How do you adapt to it? And so I think let's move on to other questions. And I can already see that a lot of questions are coming up. So for the second question, I'll just invite one person to answer, and then we'll move on to the third question, and then we'll move on to the question from the audience, starting with Sophie Davison. The second question from the people who previously asked was, is there a community of Bristol entrepreneurs I can join? And maybe Yi, you're the most relevant person with the most relevant experience.
Yeah, like I mentioned in my introduction as well, there are so many support and network around you guys. Like first, you need to know what kind of sector you're in, whether you're a high-tech company, social enterprise, or any other. So if you're a high-tech company, I suggest for like Set Squares, that is based at Engine Shed, is supported by the University of Bristol, and they can offer you the free space and also fundings. And there are lots of high-tech company based there. You can have free networking and talk to them, collaborate with them. And if you are social enterprise, there's like Princess Trust, the School for Social Enterprise, which can support you with like £1,000 funding for free. And they offer lots of workshop and boot camp as well. And for network, first, the Entrepreneur Spark is based at the train station at RBS building, and that one is really nice. Everyone can join if you're a startup or mature business, and it's join all of this service and mostly like free as well. You can use their free space and workshop. They got a lot of networking events as well. And also you can use the tool like Meetup. When you search like Entrepreneur Meetup on the Meetup website, there are lots of events. But now because COVID-19, maybe it's hard to do like offline social or Meetup, but there's many like networks, and also the support like Bristol University offer Basecamp Enterprise team. They do lots of events and the support as well. You can ask, they're really helpful.
Thank you, Yi. And I just want to add that always look for the kind of like hub of connection. And when you meet around you, there are always a small percentage of people who seem to be connected with everyone. And finding these people are generally a good start. And if you're from Bristol and talk to the Bristol alumni office, if not for the alumni office, I actually wouldn't have chance to meet Laura, Mingke, and Yi, the other entrepreneurs from Bristol. So there you go. Alumni is always the best hub to connect you. Third question, how do you get inspiration? What made you go into what you're doing now? Any speakers want to take this question, please? Oh, Laura, would you like to go for it? I feel the polite kind of who want to go first, so I'm going to pick.
Thank you for giving me the question directly. But I do think you have to do the things you like. Whatever industry field you are in, it might be the things you have the passion with. And I do think this is the important thing, because when you start your startup journey, you will find that your life probably will be 24/7 working always. So the things you like is it's quite essential. And the second point I would like to share probably is the life, where you might sometimes you might thinking, what's the purpose of my life? Should I do something helpful or interesting? So I guess with these 2 points, you will find the real thing you would like to do. And back to you, Liang.
Thank you. So thanks for the lovely questions. Please keep them coming. So from now on, we're going to move on to the question the audience asked live. And we'll start with Sophie Davison. Sophie, you asked a couple of questions. So let me pick the first question you asked, which is, what is the most valuable piece of advice you would give to startups that ensures growth and confidence within their work? Mingke.
Right. So the question is about how to scale up for startups, I suppose. That is for the first part of the question.
The most valuable advice you would like to give to startups to make sure growth.
Right. Okay. If I get the right answer for that question, I probably will be very busy today because the startup will be like very successful. This is the holy grail for every startup, I guess, to find the tipping point so that you can do scale up growth. I think exponentially growth is everyone is pursuing. In tech field, I think a proper product market fit is the foundation of the goal you want to achieve in terms of the growth. I think to spend some time to carefully monitor the results of the market product fit, to try some MVP and to face the reality. Because I'm a serial entrepreneur, that means I started several ventures in the past, just like Kai. And some of those ventures, we still have a lot of money from VC. I've been burned up with multi-million fundings in previously and stopped some of the venture because I just noticed that the nature of the business I was running cannot actually hit the exponential growth, and so that I stopped. If it's human power based driven operation or growth, for me that's not good enough. So we have to be honest about the nature of the business you are running. You have to face the reality of the product market fit. If it's not like that, if it's not the problem of the execution, then you need to be like facing the reality of the strategy or the vision that you are having is probably not as expected. But be brave. This is the path you need to take, I think.
So be brave is the top advice from Mingke.
Yes.
From the lead parrot from Bristol.
Yes, because this is really difficult.
Yeah, it's quite difficult. And in fact, can I invite those Laura and Yi to give one sentence, the most important advice? What would you say, Laura?
Well, I would say being optimistic, which is quite important. As I told you, as I have said just now, because as an entrepreneur, you definitely will have the experience of being depression. So being optimistic is quite important. So over to me to Zeng.
Yeah. I think it's good to meet other people. When you are depression or you're unsure about your business, talk to others and they will give you really wonderful suggestions. And when you talk and share your business, you will get new ideas as well. So it's not always just only you. There's always someone there.
Thank you. I totally concur. But the only thing I would say is to work with the right people. And there's a lot of content and the context behind that. And 2 of my startups failed because the person eventually turned out to be not the right people, but you will never know. Sometimes you have to go into it. Okay, so Sophie, I know you have another question, but we have so many questions. So if you don't mind, let me move on to a question from Freda Antoinette. She's very nice. She said, hi, Liang, Laura Shang, and Mingke Luo, and Zeng. If applicable, what made you decide to set up your business, build your career in your home country instead of staying in UK? Or what made you decide to set up your business or build your career in the UK instead of going back to your home country? Thank you. All right, who would like to take on this one, please? Well, you're on the big screen.
Okay, yeah, because for me, before I come to the UK, I already decided that I would like to stay in the UK. So my business is always in the UK as well. But when it's based in the UK, but it didn't matter like whether the business itself can international or just home based. Because when I do my business, I also like build a bridge between China and the UK. So sometimes I have clients in other country, and also I will build a network between China and UK. So it's not necessarily just based in one place. So it's not really matter with the location, I feel.
Thank you. Anybody want to quickly add before we move on to the next question, please?
Yeah, I would like to share my experience on that. As well, the reason I start up the business, I have said just now, when I saw my friend was planning the life of being retired, I realized that if I didn't start immediately, I will be running out of time. So I guess, and another reason, because I do think that this idea has already rooted in my mind, and it just I didn't got the mature condition to start it. And the reason I start my firm here in China instead of in the UK, because you should know that we had the 2 countries have 2 different legal systems, and currently qualified here in China with PRC law license, and this is the essential reason I started firm here in China first. But who knows? Probably with the growing of the firm, who knows, probably years later, I will start the firm there in London or Bristol as well. So just wait and see. So thank you, and or back to Liang.
Thank you. The truth is that you will never know. I think I traveled. I think I went to 40 different countries so far on a rough guess. And I could never guess that I would start a company in Sydney. And the company was actually registered before I actually went to Sydney. The reason is that one gentleman joined a golf tournament that is run and started by me. And he was observing how I managed the golf tournament. He was impressed. He was the boss of advertising company in Beijing, nearly IPO'd, but couldn't. And then he immigrated to Australia. He called me and said, Kai, what do I do? In order to help a brother, I said, well, I suggest you get into virtual reality education. And then before I know, I have to supply him with everything, with detailed idea, with contract, with partner. and eventually I become a co-founder of the company. So I think you will never know where you're going to start off with, but generally start with do your entrepreneurial company in a place that you can add value. You can add unique value, and you have the right people. Like Mingke, he's in Shanghai. There's an interesting correlation here. Both Mingke and Laura, both based in Shanghai, and I also have a company in Shanghai. So Shanghai is really a participation with a lot of startups. And and I'm also considered open a Beijing office because I won the top prize for in an entrepreneurial competition. So yeah, you never know where life takes you. Now, I'd like to move on to the next question because we have lots of questions and a limited amount of time. This question is also to do with Shanghai, and it's a long question. It's from Pedro Anton. The question is, I think that particularly for foreigners, getting some working experience in China could be a very valuable experience to gain a better understanding of how business is done in China and learn more about the culture. Sure, based on my research throughout, it is easier said than done. I have struggled to find any free and affordable internships or summer programs offered to foreigners in China. And considering the size of the country, I'm starting to think I might not be searching for them at the right places. What do you reckon is the best way for a foreigner who has a basic conversational level of Mandarin to search and eventually find internship and other working experience in China? If specific to Shanghai and financial service, that'd be twice appreciated. So it's interesting that I think from Mingke's introduction, Mingke has already said that he's looking for internships and for with more technology degree. So I think I might invite Laura to have a go on this question because Laura, you're a lawyer. Surely you know a lot of people.
I could start at first, and I do think that as a foreigner here in China, there are a lot of opportunities for you. But I do suggest, and if possible, and it's not bad to study some Mandarin. For the internship opportunities, I do think that it's equal to Chinese citizens and to the foreigners. And I guess both of us have the experiences when we graduate and the difficulties or looking for a decent job. So for financial services industry, I don't have a say in that part, but if you would like to start up your business here in China as a foreigner, I do have some resources could provide it to you. It's like a innovation space and some startup camp could help you understand the policies of Shanghai and the law of China, and probably there you could find your partners could working with you together, and you will also find the resources for the business you are going to do. So I think that pretty much from me. Or back to you, Liang.
Thank you. I think, Pedro, you find that answer helpful because the question is probably less relevant to entrepreneurs. So I like to move on. And I noticed that Freda Antoinette, you asked a string of questions. You are the champion of asking questions today. I'm going to pick one of your most open questions, and which is, if you don't mind sharing, do you have any exciting plans for your company? So I think this is a really nice question to get everyone involved. And we'd like to start with Yi. What is the exciting plan for your company, please?
At the beginning, when I start my business, I have a really exciting and big plan, like open a chain restaurant in the UK. But as long as when I run the business, I found out there's something I'm too optimistic, and I didn't really know the market that well. So I was keep changing my plan and my target on going with my business. And now, because I start a full-time job, but still keep my business running, so my business plan changed to maybe run more online sessions and also grow my e-commerce shop. So I think it's always good to review your business plan like occasionally and just make it more realistic. So maybe not really exciting, but realistic.
Very good, and I think for people who is really into this this field and the failure and then like a stressed and a real cycle of entrepreneurship, realistic adjustment to business plan is probably a better replacement than excitement. You still need to keep it going, and as Laura mentioned. But so thank you, E. And Laura, what is the exciting plans for your business, please?
Well, it's a very good question, but I do agree. I do agree with Yi Zeng. For startup, the most excited plan for the business is to survive, and after the period of being survived, you could develop your plans and expanding your business. And but for me, because my firm is currently focusing on the foreign related legal services, and my excited business plan for the firm is to, because I'm going to develop the firm to be the most famous one. It's not the big one, but whenever the foreign companies or foreign individuals have the related legal services, they could remind me. Because I think currently, I think that would be the plan. But in the long term, I could say that would be a dream. Yeah, I would like to have a firm in London and Bristol as well. Thank you.
That is such a diplomatic thing to say. Well, being in UK, I mean, E and I in UK, we welcome you, and please do come and don't forget us. Thank you. And Mingke, what is the exciting plan for MRS.ai, please?
Right. Interesting, because we are in the sector that has, let's say, a lot of potential right now. So we have a lot of growth. And we will probably raise another round really soon. And we have some of those clients, even though the company is started in China and based in China, but we work with multinational corporations. So I visit Europe quite often, but usually in Germany in the past. But we will be possibly open one company in UK. And because what we do is conversational AI, we start with Mandarin firstly, and English and German will be the second and the third language that will be adopted with our solution, so that we were gonna be using our platform to create more AI agents for different companies in the world. So not just in China, like Kai, you just mentioned, we have a lot of competitions in from the big players like Baidu or iFlyTech and other very rich and well-funded startups in China, focusing on some of those major banks in China. Lots of crowded competition going on there. However, we see a lot of opportunities across the globe, and we happen to see that not many good English-based conversational AI solutions so far, and we can also work with them. So we will be setting up our overseas offices soon, and we will be providing more solutions with more clients. That's our soon plan in the soon future.
Fantastic. I think the combination of raising a new round and more deals in Europe, really exciting. Yep. And really get some more market away from the big guys. I mean, they may be big, trust me, they are so spread in all different areas. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't be scared of the big guys, because you're using your fists to compete against the kind of like a really spread and thin coverage for the particular industry that you're going after. So no rush, and I'm sure you'll do well, Mingke. And I also want to add my pitch. So for my company in Sydney, Smartstone, the most exciting plan is to work on this virtual reality version of Zoom called X Spaces, and because we're potentially winning a lot of deals for that, and And it's also very exciting working with artists. I mean, I'm far less artistic than Yi, but I enjoy art. And so I think to do that, it's to be able to offer something in that area is very exciting. And with Mount Science, or the Chinese name is Menlong, we have closed the B round, and I was able to contribute a very important, a very big investor into this round. So it's exciting to work with the investor to now expand the business in China, in Asia, and we're going to launch new products. And also we're starting to warm up, like Mingke, for the warm up with the investor for next round already. So that we can take the growth in the right direction, such as perhaps more Hong Kong relation to prepare for the future exit in Hong Kong stock exchange. So there are lots of excitement going forward. So there you go. I hope that the answer for that question is exciting and motivating for the rest of budding entrepreneurs out there. And even though it's 10 o'clock, but I see so many questions. So we're going to stay on a bit and answer 3 more questions from an audience. And we'll pick the first time I see Duan Wenbo ask the question. The question is it better to work in the industry for a few years first, or starting up your own business directly after graduation, if this is a hot industry and you have great idea? It's really interesting because the audience we have, the panelists we have today have a combination of both. We have Yi, who started entrepreneur based on because of his life and interest straight away after graduation. And there's also the rest of us, like Laura, who has years of experience in legal service, and then she built her own law firm. So I think I would invite 2 ladies to kind of like just have a brief comment on your different experience here, on kind of like quite the extreme scale here, to help Wenbo with his question. Yi?
So I can start first. Although I started my business after I graduated, but before I graduated, I did, as I mentioned, I did volunteer for like 13 different organizations. So I did try lots of different sectors, like public sector, public health sector, and the hospital, nutrition, and marketing, everything I did try. So I still got basic understanding of different industry and how the business work, how to recruit people. And also I worked for some startup as well. I think it's always quite good if you already have some basic understanding before you joining the startup business. So you know how to manage other people, how to do marketing, do the HR and finance, because there are lots of things you need to learn. If you have no experience before, I feel it's a little bit difficult for you. But if you think it's a really good idea, you want to do it quick, the good suggestion I want to give you is maybe find a good mentor so they can guide you through the journey as well. So if you have not enough experience, find someone have good experience to guide you. Yeah.
Thank you, Yi. And Laura?
Yeah, thank you. I do think that Yi Zeng has summarized quite a comprehensive. I have just one additional advice for the attendee, which is in addition to the real skills like the working skills like the HR, the marketing, the IT, the strategy, the finance. Another skill is quite important as well, which is the people skill. Because as the entrepreneur, you are always ready to connecting with others, communicating with your partners and clients or the cooperation companies. So the people skill is quite important as well. Yeah, back to you, Liang.
And people skill does need some accumulation of experience in life as well, and also to support Yi. And sometimes you just cannot help the urge to go out there to enjoy the experience and try it before you learn it. And Mingke, I want to I want to focus you on the next question. So it's also from Freda. Freda asked a lot of questions, and this question is quite nice. It's that because Mingke is relevant to what you asked earlier on. So how do you keep your employees motivated while at the same time working out your company strategies? Especially you mentioned employees.
Yeah. Okay. I think to set up a vision and to share the context with the possible approaches to achieve this vision is the way to keep your employee motivated. Yeah, particularly if it's a tech startup. I think growth. There's a saying. I'm not saying this is right or this is wrong, but it's kind of popular, saying that the growth solves every problem. So once you stop the growth as a tech company, then a lot of minor problems will come up and become all the barrier and challenges for the entire business operation. But as long as you have this fast growth, and then a lot of different problems, they won't just disappear, but they will be appearing like a less problem for other people to concern. So the rest of the team will be thinking about, we see that what you are saying, what your vision is being realized step by step. We are approaching the goal, and we know that we have a lot of problems, but those problems can wait. We can go get those goals firstly. I think this is growth is, I think, the key.
Thank you, Mingke. And Freda also asked me.
What do you think?
I totally agree. Growth is the key. And if you can grow, you have the chance to keep other people motivated with opportunity. And of course, growth will also bring you investment, so you can reward them financially. Growth also keep people very close, so they got to contribute. So therefore, they feel motivated, and there's a return in business. So I like your answers, and of course, this question is actually potentially quite big. There can be all the questions. All the questions for entrepreneurship is big. I mean, there's a small question. Freda asked me, for Liang, how do you split your time effectively across companies? So I'll take this one on my own directly. So I'm since I started with Smart Science as a full-time director, my role in SmartStone become advisory basis and only advisory. And in fact, it's always possible for you to leave some time to advise other people. In UK, we have a organization to create this kind of mentoring partnership between entrepreneurs and other companies who is being advised. So I enjoy doing that a lot. So in fact, advisory you can give to a lot of things. And so yeah, you got to be good in time management, and you got to keep yourself motivated. It's always good to talk with different type of people. Like Yi told you, networking is very important. And Laura would also agree with that, I'm sure, because I actually found lawyers amazingly connected. A UK lawyer involved in entertainment has asked me to give him a lot of advice for his VR entertainment startup. So it's very interesting. And right, so I also noticed that we have, from the question that is sent to me before this event, a lot of questions seem to hinge on the same question. For example, there were question, how do you master the courage to take the first step? And what is hardest challenge in the first few months of starting the business? And what is the biggest challenges you face during the birth of your startup, and how do you overcome it? So I think there's a lot of question to kind of encourage people to actually take the first step. I think let's make this the last question we're going to discuss this morning in UK or evening in Chinese time. And if I can invite Yi to answer this question, because you're the greatest courage here in terms of taking the first step, the early stage in your life.
Yeah, so as I mentioned a little bit before as well, for first, you need to have a business plan, and it covers a lot of areas. And like university can support you, they can check with your business plan and see which part is realistic, which part is not really good, and you help you from the planning stage. And next, I mentioned before as well, is the minimum viable products. So start with something small and keep it running quick to taste the water and to see whether it fits with your target market and whether this product is achievable. So to help you to quickly adjust your business and fit with the market. So the first several months, there's a lot of things. It's good that university offer this kind of ongoing support. Every time when you have difficulties, you can come to them. They can help you. Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And Laura, you back to the first few months when you first started your startup.
Yeah, I have to say it was quite difficult at the first beginning of the startup, and you have to be well prepared emotionally. In case when these difficulties coming to you, I do think it's better you got support from your friends or family members, and you could also share your experience with others or the experienced people in your industry. And I do think you have to face the difficulties directly, because this is the problem you are going to resolve finally. And it doesn't matter at what stage of your business, because in the future operation of your business, you will always have difficulties. So just get used to it, and you will get it. Okay.
Thank you. And it's really nice to touch the emotional side as well. And I totally agree with you. And as somebody who has experienced the first few months a few times, and totally agree. And back to you, Mingke. Any advice about the early stage of the startup in relation to your own experience, please?
Right. I think to have someone as a good partner in your team is going to be like a mutual supportive group, and that will really help when you guys sit together facing the challenges at the same time. Sometimes you don't feel that lonely, or if that's I think to be a problem solver, and with a lot of problem solver around you, could conquer almost probably all the challenges. I think this is very important.
Thank you, and definitely agree with all of you. And from my own experience, I think perhaps the combination of factor to make you to jump, to take the jump, was actually the combination of finding the right people, getting the idea actually working together, and have enough emotional courage. And in my opinion, all my startup actually started with a first deal as well, to be able to get that deal, so that you know that it's commercially tested, and also the ability to convince the angel investors initially to actually support the business. The only exception was a Smartstone, but because actually the initial money was provided by the CEO of the company himself. So, but we also got a couple of angel investment afterwards. So I think the easiest answer is to network, to have this passion, get your idea right, and then test it with people, so that this can lead you to the right people. And when you're emotionally ready, and with proven by some deals and some angel investment support, then go for it. Welcome to the to the world of tears and joys of entrepreneurial piracy. Thank you, Yi. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Mingke. And thanks for Joanna, Claire, and all the team who is working behind from Bristol alumni office, who enabled this event today. I'm afraid that is all we have time, and we actually gave it another extra 15 minutes. Sorry that there's no way for us to answer all your questions, and there are a lot more. But we have really enjoyed your brilliant questions. And so big thanks for submitting the question. The recording will be circulated afterwards. And we do hope you enjoyed this session. And the pandemic is still going on, so keep in touch, stay safe, and well, and enjoy your day, and good luck in your future plans for entrepreneurs, and good luck in your current entrepreneur endeavor. Thank you, and goodbye from Bristol alumni.